The ultimate journey began in 2021. On August 9th, Xelanater 11ox created a new world in Cave Game and set out on an adventure unlike any other. His mission? To play through every official version of Minecraft, from its earliest pre-classic experiments to the modern updates, and stitch it all together into one massive Polyworld, a term coined by YouTuber Nullatrum for worlds that carry the history of Minecraft's terrain generation across time. Over the course of 4 years and more than 470 live streams, this has become his longest and most ambitious project yet, a living archive of Minecraft itself, from humble beginnings in pre-classic through classic, in-dev, inf-dev, alpha, beta, to the first ever walk into the Nether Farlands, battles with the Ender Dragon, and finally all the way to version 1.17.1, the first half of the Caves and Cliffs update. Every build in this world has an origin story, and we'll be taking you on a guided tour of those beginnings. From the twisting depths of Dupa Duplex Ravine to the underground block museum, the infamous warehouse, the survival bunker, Peekaboo Pixel, the striking Rana mosaic, and the very first foundations of Endevia Plateau. This is the story of the first 25 days of Xelanater's ultimate Minecraft Polyworld. Hello everybody, friends and fellow Minecrafters. I am Star Fox, and the great Xelanater 11ox, or the Xelamoon, is rising, as you can see there. Where are we? We are in Xelanater's Ultimate Minecraft Polyworld, UMP. This is the world that he features in his show. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing a tour of his world and take it episode by episode, because I have been placing maps, points and everything like that, points of interest. So let's go ahead and get started here, and I'm going to turn this on. I've added a few mods. One of them is some background sounds, but I also added journey map. This, oh, by the way, this is version 1.12.2, and this map comes from like 1.6. So I took this from 1.6 and converted up to 1.12. So as you can see, I've put down waypoints, tons of waypoints, so that way I could reference everything that is in his world. So right here, oh, and we're using shaders, by the way. I've seen people ask him in his streams, hey, when are you going to use shaders? So I figured, hey, let's go ahead and use shaders on the tour so that way you can see what it looks like. So this is from episode 1, Dupa Duplex Ravine. So if we take a look at the map here, this world is from RD 132211. So this is the first world, the flat world. And one of the other reasons why I want to do this tour is because he has a lot of episodes. He's got over 400, like 470 episodes already. So you might be joining in on one of his streams and you're seeing a lot of the stuff built and you're wondering what the origin is. Like, what's the origin story? When did it show up? Well, that's what this tour is all about. It's to help you see when the stuff happened. Now, I've been going through the old streams. They're 2 hours a piece. and I've gone all the way up to 50. So it takes some time. Well, we're going to be doing episodes 1 through 25. So this is a Duplex Ravine from episode 1, which is RD132211. And also this is using Xelanater's Ultimate Poly Pack. I think that's what it's called. So that way it shows the old textures. This is a platform where you can see Duplex Ravine. I don't need to do that. I'm in creative. Now it looks like he's added a few things. Okay, so this is later. We'll go and do some flying here. And I've been noticing these logs. Now these logs weren't originally here, and I'm wondering if maybe trees had popped up later on and he just burned them. There's a thing about him and burning trees. So I don't know if that's what the deal is or not. There's some that are just floating too, so I don't know. But Xelanater, if you are watching, maybe you can help explain why it's doing that. We have a looks like that's right, he had built his own little mine shaft down here, which goes all the way down here. And then back up. Here, let's just kind of fly up here. Ooh, the Xelamoon is staring up right at us. There we go. Yeah, so from one to the other. We've got this here, which is what, a ball and another floating ball. I didn't quite understand what he was doing over here in this corner. He was just kind of digging it down a little bit. Maybe he was making it kind of like a page in a book or something. Okay, so from here, we are going to move to episode 2, which is right over here in this direction. All right, so this is RD1613A. Oh, I'm sorry, that's episode 3. Oh, episode 1 and 2 were both Duplex Ravine. So this is episode 3. And over here, he built this. I'm not sure exactly what he was doing. Just building a mound or something. But he did this over here. He built another mine shaft, and he called it Arty Shaft. Once again, this thing over here was made later, but this here was made on episode 3. And so he came down here. He placed all of these wood blocks. He dug out some directions there. Some tunnels. Kind of comes down here. Ends. But he also has the shaft down here too. Put a ladder. Zell, put a ladder here. I mean, I don't need one. I'm in creative, but put a ladder here. Yeah, I know someone else could put a ladder there, but I could do it. Want me to do it? No, it's all right. It's all right. I'm just kidding. Okay, that is his viewing platform for the Artie shaft. I think he just came up with the name out of nowhere, or someone had mentioned it in stream, and I can't remember offhand which one it was. If you see anything that interests you, highly recommend going to that particular episode and giving it a watch. All right, so we're done here, and this was his second map. So now we're going to be moving to the third map, which is over here. So we've got the duplex ravine up here. You'll also notice that he added some entryways in here. So here's this first world. Oh, and as far as the duplex ravine, he carved this out all by hand. Because why not? You know, he wanted to have some type of cave, because there wasn't one originally. So he built it. He built his own here. I'm seeing it's got a way out. Okay. But yeah, okay, so we're going over here to map number 3. He even has a little walkway over here. Let's make use of this walkway. And go right across the bridge here. And in episode 4, he built this castle. And I'm going to turn all that off because all those waypoints are kind of annoying. Like, I took a lot of notes. And so this castle was also, he also used this during the survival test. And this came from 11A. So classic 0.0.11A. But he also featured this in episode 16 with 0.025_05 survival test. I thought what happened with his world on 11A getting this not plateau, but you know what I mean. I thought that turned out really nice. I mean, he got pretty fortunate there with this map. All right, so we are going to move to the next world in episode 5. Which is over in this direction. This here he was building to the world height at the time. Just to kind of show that off. So here in episode 5, he built this mansion, and then he came back later and he put in glass looking for the door. He added that later. Here we go. So he's got an upstairs here. Naturally, he came back and added doors. And the crafting table, because that was not there originally either. So yeah, this was in Classic 0.0.12a_3. In episode 21, he placed the windows. Just so for reference on that. Alright, don't have any other notes on that map, so now it's time to go to episode 6. I don't know if you see a pattern, but it's zigzagging here. So map 1, map 2, map 3, map 4, map 5, map 6. Alright, so let's head over here to the 5th world. I have found that downloading his, and he makes his world available to his viewers. I have found that downloading his world and going through the episodes and marking points of interest, it's helping me to get immersed in the world that he's created and learning about its origin and the story behind the stuff that he's been building. So it's not a bad thing to try out, so that way if you're watching one of his later episodes and he's going and he's running around, the story and the history of everything that he built. It doesn't seem like it's a strange place. So just by going through the episodes and marking this, I feel like I have been with him every step of the way as he's been building this. I mean, this has become kind of like a second home in a way. Okay, so we are here. And this was in Classic 0.0.13a_3 for episode 6. And he built this bridge. We've got this that goes up to the world height. He built the boat. However, it did not have the sails yet. He did not come back and do this until later. I'm not sure when he actually did it. Because at the time he only did this base part. And I don't believe he did this because there weren't trapdoors at the time. So he came back and worked on this later. There weren't fences either. So it was just the main base part of the ship that he had. But he built the bridge going across. He came back later and added the slabs because slabs weren't there originally. It was just cobblestone and stone and wood. We got a little tunnel here that he made. Oh, and there's that tower there. I think he built that tower later. I don't remember seeing that that early. So I could be wrong, but I think he built that tower later. So we're just kind of going across the bridge here. And I believe that is it for this particular map. So we're going to be going over to 0.0.14a_08. This is when trees were first added. This is from the, now he doesn't use the recreated versions like what I've been doing on my Polyworld. He only used the official versions. So trees were actually added in 14A. They were what I call the cube-shaped trees. In 14 underscore, what did I say again? 030, yeah, 08. These are what I call the plus trees, because they're the cube trees that have a plus shape on the top. Now the question is, okay, here's some of the original trees here. So it's got the cube, it's cube shaped, but in these there is a spot taken out on the corners there. Which I just realized the fake ones that I created in my own Polyworld before I had leaves, they're actually too tall. I actually have it the original 3x3x3 cube, and then I put the plus on top of it. I was actually supposed to take out the corner pieces. I'm gonna have to fix that. Trying to make it accurate. So this is what happened to all my waypoints. All my waypoints disappeared. Why is that? Oh my god. They did. They all disappeared. Oh no, I'm lost. Whoa. What happened to all my waypoints? They all got crossed out. What the heck? Alright, I'm gonna have to reload this apparently. Okay, I got all the waypoints back. That was weird. So there wasn't too much that was done in this one here. That's what I'm taking a look at. Maybe am I in the wrong one? Okay, besides the mansion, I forgot to mention some of this other stuff that he also did in episode 3. Actually, okay, sorry, this is episode 18 here. And this was all a lava lake, but we'll get back to that. Alright, so let's get back over here. He had himself another forest fire or something over here. Ah, yes, okay, so he did a tree sanctuary. I believe he did this treehouse of sorts. I think he did that in this episode. He did this bridge. Now you may notice that there is a little bit of transparency. That's the shader doing that. But he came in and he made the cube trees. It looks like there's one piece missing here. From 14A. So he went ahead and manually put them in here and made this a little tree sanctuary. Blocked it off with grass. Made some tall ones. Didn't light it up though. Could use some torches over here. Okay, so that was episode 7. Now we're going to go to episode 8. Okay, here we go. 15A. Aha. Okay, this is where he did his block museum. That's right. So we're moving over here. So this is map. Okay, map 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right here. And right here we have his viewing platform for the Block Museum. And this is episode 8 that he did this in. Alright, so Xelanater's original block museum was in this area here. And then he had later expanded it out and then off in that direction as well. Alright, the world's smallest ocean is right here. That's what he labeled it as, the world's smallest ocean. So yeah, he created this. I don't remember if he did the walls at the time. But this was in... I missed the platform. This was in episode 8. Okay, so this was in 15A with episode 8. And now we're going to be going to episode 9. Which was done in classic 16A_02. And this was a very, very prominent feature in his later episodes, and that is the warehouse. This is the original warehouse, number 1. I just broke his door. Sorry about that, didn't mean to do that. There we go. Fixed it. And so episode 9 is when he first started building this. So if you want to see the origin of when he built it, that is the episode that you want to tune into. Chests were not available at the time, so he had wood blocks here instead. And glass was not available at the time, so he put in the leaves up there. Now we go to episode 10. Oh, and I think it's over in this direction, actually. He's still on the same map. And he did this right here. Two different types of zeros, an X, a check mark. And this was in Classic 0.0.17a. We now go over to episode 11 for version 18a_02, and that's actually when he built this wall. Okay, we are now going over to episode 12. Which is somewhere, I believe this is it here. He built this monolith. I can't remember if he dug it all the way out to the void at that time, but yeah, he did this thing right here. It did not originally go that high up, so he continued it later. Yeah, but he put a lot of work into that right there. Also of note is his little shrine here to what he called the Peekaboo Pixel, which it had something to do where if you're on the corner, the texture from this corner here would peek through the textures here. Eventually that was fixed, but this is his little display when it was actually working. And by the way, this monolith for episode 12 was built in Classic 19A_04. All right, so let's go ahead and go to episode 13. Which is his little maze game that he created. And he had all the Steves in here, and whichever one made it through this maze was declared the winner. And he put down here, yeah, it was number 77. That was the winner. Yeah, but they came all the way through here, got right here into this little finishing area. He blocked it off to keep them in there. But yeah, so his little maze race, that was episode 13. Also in episode 13 is his rainbow wall. That's a lot of pigs. So he was showcasing cloth at the time, which is before it became wool. And so he placed this wall up of each of the colors that were available, just like a rainbow. Also in episode 13 was a hut that he built, which is right over here in this this area right here. It's almost like a witch hut. That's what that looks like. And he later called this the 19A Swamp. But at the time, he was in 20A_02. That's for episode 13. We now go to episode 14, to a house that he built. Right over here, as you can see. This was in 22A_05. And he went ahead and built this house here using gravel. This is definitely not creeper proof, that's for sure. Not too much going on here. But in addition to the small house, he also did this mural here of the classic Rana character that has the frog hat. And these were mobs that were just kind of running around at the time, where they weren't even running, they were more like sliding across the ground. But, yep, he did that. Also in episode 14. In episode 15, he worked on sewer pipes, which was down here, underground where his block museum was at. And I believe they should be across the way here. So we'll go ahead and we'll go into spectator mode. I'll make it a little bit easier to try to find the sewer pipes. And here it is. Before he managed to get the infinite flow of water to come down through here, he had put glass, which I thought was kind of neat, over to protect the lava. This is a great idea. And there's a ladder. That doesn't apparently go through anything, but we'll do that anyway. Alright, so Okay, so episode 16, there was a flood that happened because of creepers that went boom boom. And he had to fix it. It was underneath in here and it flooded everything. So he was busy in that episode trying to get rid of all that water. And that was in 25_05. That was the version that he was in. So at this time, he was in survival test, and that's why that got flooded. So also in episode 16, he made a base or a bunker, which is what we're heading to right over here. This area here is the base where he built the bridge. The bunker, which I believe is down here. And then a walkway going up. Yeah, so all this was done here in survival tests. And he made a little gold deposit over here as well. So the survival, the bunker was episode 16, and the base was actually in 17. Also, something that I think we mentioned the first time, but we should mention it again, is for episode 16, is that it was over here at the castle for a survival test. In version 28_01, this is when he was dealing with the lava lake, which is what this originally was. But then some water got loose, or he was releasing water, and pretty much got rid of a lot of it. But you can see there's still some steaming coming from underneath, which has got me curious. Yep. So he's got a layer of lava right underneath here, which actually that is, I don't know if that's what he was intending to do, but that's actually kind of cool. That makes it look like a hot bath, hot spring. So I don't know if that was his intention, or if it just happened to work out that way. But yeah, so there was more than one layer of lava, as you can see, and then the water was on top of it. And he had also made this right here, where you can see some of the lava underneath. And you can see that he set this up to where water was flowing from one direction and lava was coming in from the other direction. And so now we go to episode 19. And he was having some issues with sheep because they were munching all over the place, and there was a lot of dirt as a result. And so he was in this area right here for episode 19, which was 29_02 as far as the version number is concerned. As he was doing his survival test, he made his way back over here to where the bunker was at. And in episode 20, looking for the bunker. Okay, just a little bit further. So he had all these maps merged at the time. Not all those down there, but the ones so far. And he started doing this, which was going to be a beacon eventually. At the time of this map, he still hadn't done the beacon. But yeah, this is it here. Episode 20. Version 0.0.30. All right, so now we're going to go to episode 21, where he was worried that if he didn't fix an edge that had water, it was going to possibly update and flood. And this is it right here. Because water was not finite, it was infinite. And so when it flowed, it kept flowing. So if any of the water was to have a block update, it would come loose here and flood this entire area. So he took the time to build this glass wall in order to protect it from flooding. And this is a map here, and then this is another map over here. All right, so what else did he do in episode 21? Well, if you remember, over here, I had mentioned that he put glass into his mansion over here. Once again, there's more floating blocks. And I can't imagine that he would have set this on fire in fear of burning this, so I am not sure where these logs come from. So another thing that he was also doing in episode 21, since he was back in creative mode, because survival test was over, he was making use of that in order to make repairs. So he had gone all the way over here in this direction and also worked in this area right over here. So he was as far as over on that side and coming over here to this side, making some repairs to what happened in survival test. So in episode 22, that is when he went into InDev. And that map was eventually linked up over here to his first world. And it was a regular island right over here. And he was here for a few episodes, actually. So, right here is where he spawned in Endev. There is the Endev house right there. Which I don't think those chests are... Okay, the chests are here. Wow, now I'm wondering, does it crash? No, it does not crash. So a lot of the stuff is still in there. The one with all the cloth and stuff is gone, and I think that one would crash. I know I've had a problem with it in my own world when doing testing and stuff. And you can see where we are on the journey map here. You can see that this was a hell world, and we're getting to that. So yeah, he was over here in episode 22, but then in episode 23 and 24, he was over here working on this tower. This huge tower here. As well as the bridge, I believe. He was making this bridge. All the way to the top. And he had manually increased the world size when he was doing a merge to 128. But yeah, he had it set up here so that way he could look over and eventually see the hell world, which is where we're going right now. There's a couple of Endev houses, and that's not the one. We'll talk about that here in a moment. So here is his Endev house for the hell world. He had also done some mining and put together a little pyramid, which I don't know if he was meaning this to be a beacon at some point or not. So this is in episode 23. And at this point, he had both of his Endev worlds merged. And he's took time building this bridge. Whoop, is that the right bridge? That's not the right bridge. Not that bridge. There's another bridge. That bridge. He was busy building this bridge from his hell world to the normal world right over there. And each time he would load up, it would create a whole nother Endev house, as you can see. But there was nothing inside. And these new Endev houses happened in episode 24. And lastly, we are getting to episode 25, which is where he was doing this bridge building in order to get to the floating islands. He had made his bridge to go back over to his regular world. He built bridges across the islands to get from one side to another. And here is his Endev house right over here, which is, there it is. I was looking for the doorway. There's the cloth. So this was all cloth. The IDs changed. Now the reason why it didn't change on the rainbow is because when he converted with MC Edit, and you have to use version 288, MC Edit will convert the IDs of the cloth to the wool, but it's not going to change anything that's inside chests. So the IDs of what were cloth were reused for different objects, and that's what you're seeing here. But there is all his other stuff, to include monster spawners, the TNT, tools, and that's it for the first 25 episodes. That is kind of impressive right there, where the lava is just kind of sitting off to the side there. Well, I hope you enjoyed the tour so far. The next time that we visit Xelanater's Ultimate Minecraft Polyworld, we'll be going through episodes 26 to episode 50. So thanks so much for watching. Be sure to check out Xelanater's channel and give those past streams a watch, so that way you can see the origin of when he was building all the stuff that is in here. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Have a killer awesome day.